Welcome to the third season of the Simple and Smart SEO Show, the podcast dedicated to empathy-driven, brand-building SEO. I'm your host, Crystal Waddell. I leverage my obsession with user experience to help business owners just like you optimize your website with confidence. Thank you so much for being here. Let's jump into another great episode. All right, my friend, welcome back to the Simple and Smart SEO Show podcast. This is Follow Through Fridays, which happens to be recorded on Sunday because life, right? But I did have this idea last week that I wanted to do like a SWOT analysis recap of the past week. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get up early and do this and just share my process for analyzing what's going on in our business. What we're going to talk about in this super short and sweet episode is just a recap of last week and the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats that I experienced, and some key takeaways. And if you didn't know, we are having a 3-day challenge at the end of February. So if you have SEO questions and you want to strengthen your SEO in just 3 days, the challenge is free and you can sign up at 3daychallenge, spelled out, 3daychallenge.com/SEO. Okay, so let's start with strengths. The strengths of last week included a great session with the founding members of the SEO squad. We've been meeting on Wednesdays for the last month, and we've covered so much. We've talked about Google business profiles, content creation, jobs theory and jobs to be done, and setting up everybody's Google Search Console so we can actually start capturing real data from our websites. So that's been really cool. And seeing everyone's wins have been great. So far, we've got some really great feedback, and I'm excited for where the membership's going to go. There's just so much potential, so much going on in SEO. It's the perfect time to be in an SEO group, if I do say so myself. Some other strengths, we had the best January ever in my business collage in wood. I've been designing these custom photo letters in numbers like a crazy person. It has just been insane in the membrane over here. And what was cool is that the sources for those sales included Google, Pinterest, direct, and then the ones that had no conversion details at all. But I was excited to see Pinterest getting credit for a click because my impressions and pin saves and click-throughs over on Pinterest are at some of the highest levels I've seen in a couple of years. So thank you, Pinterest, and thank you, January, because that was a crazy fun month. On the SEO agency side of things, I finished some case studies for one of my clients, and another client who's a new client saw a new milestone in her previously kind of latent and dormant site. She got 120 clicks last month. So that was pretty exciting. All right. So weaknesses. Okay. This is where things got a little rough. The overwhelm was so real last week. And I had this dream of 2024 being the year of working until noon. And that was not an option in January. So I think I'm going to revamp that idea and that goal into something a little bit more reasonable. Maybe go back to having Friday fully off. And it's the first time I've seriously thought about hiring another designer for the Photoshop work that I do. That crossed my mind. Then, unfortunately, the Postal Service fumbled an overnight package. It's going from North Carolina to Washington. Left North Carolina fine, got to Washington, stayed in a processing center for 3 or 4 days, and then was delivered late to the customer. So that was unfortunate. But okay, let's go back to something a little bit more positive, opportunities. Oh, but you know what? It showed me that there was a gap in my process because a few months ago, I don't know if you listened to this episode and I have to figure out which one it was, but a few months ago, I was talking about how I wanted to use HoneyBook to improve the client experience at collageandwood.com. And so what I did was I mapped out the entire experience from the time that they purchased the collage till the time that the collage is delivered. Now, once I ship it, the next step was to say, hey, how is your collage? Did everything arrive okay? But what I never thought about was creating something between the shipping of the object and the follow-up of the shipping. So here's what I mean. If somebody orders like a physical collage and it doesn't get there on time, it doesn't have to be so devastating because what I can do is I can create a digital design in the version of a poster and send it digitally to the person or to a Staples nearby the person so they can at least pick that up and have something to give on that senior night. But that was not the case because my customer didn't know that she could tell me when the collage wasn't there. She didn't tell me until it was too late. But if I had let her know that there is an option if the package is running late, we could have avoided some of the pain of that experience. As bad as that was, it really did create a new opportunity. So speaking of opportunities, we're launching the free Supercharge Your SEO 3-day challenge at the end of February. It's February 27th, 28th, and 29th on our fun little leap year date. And you can sign up right now. It's totally free. 3daychallenge.com/SEO. Another opportunity, I went back to handwritten thank you notes. I purchased some nice up-leveled thank you cards that are personalized with my photo and my address and my name. So I've been putting those in there. I'm hoping that's going to continue to bring in reviews. If I was smart, I would have put a QR code on the back of the card to say, hey, scan this QR code to leave a review on my Google business page. But that's an opportunity for the future, right? Let's go on to threats. We've had strengths, weaknesses, opportunities. Really, the biggest threat to my business is time and health. And my husband has been sick off and on for the last few weeks. There's lots of little viruses going around, and he's a teacher, and he's also a type 1 diabetic, which means his body has a harder time fighting off these little bugs than other people. So we've been dealing with that. And then also my son is 11, but he woke up like a teenager one day this week. And I'm like, wow, like some of the things that he said. And so when he lost his iPad privileges this weekend, the emotional results were devastating for all of us. So it's got me completely rethinking screen time and my own work screen time as well to be more present with him. So that's been the evaluation of the week. And I think there was so many great positives, so many great things with the SEO squad, so many great opportunities, and just seeing some of the things that I've identified as opportunities implemented now and seeing the fruit of that and seeing that things are improving or the customer experience journey is more hands-on, and the feedback from my customers has just been amazing. They really feel cared about and that I'm touching base with them. All of those things were positive. And anytime that there are weaknesses or threats, I always believe that weaknesses can be turned into opportunities and that threats can be mitigated. And it's just important to take a step back. And I don't know if you've heard the story of the businessman and the fisherman, but I heard that again this week. And so I'll just share my version with you here real quick. A fisherman was on his fishing boat near the dock, and a rich, successful businessman came to the dock and said, wow, you really could make some money with what you're doing. How do you spend your days? And the guy said, I fish, and then I go home and I read and I spend time with my family and go to bed. And the guy said, you could have a really successful business. And then once you make all that money, you could sell the business and you just be really wealthy. And the guy on the boat said, oh, that sounds interesting, but how long would that take? And the businessman said, well, you have to work really hard for about 10 years. But then once that was over, you could spend time on your boat, have time with your kids and your family, and read every night. And so it just goes to show that sometimes we think we're working towards the goals to get us everything we want. And when we stop for a minute, we realize we already have everything we need. So just wanted to share that with you. I hope that's encouraging in some way. Thank you for listening to Follow Through Fridays. Keep moving forward, and I will see you again on Wednesday.
Hey guys, this is Crystal, one of your co-hosts from the Simple and Smart SEO Show podcast. If you're looking for a unique, handcrafted way to spruce up your home or office, then collagenwood.com is the perfect place for you. We are a small, woman-owned business that offers a range of beautiful wooden signs for your home or office. Our talented team of artists will work with you to create a sign that perfectly suits your needs. So why wait? Use promo code SIMPLE10 to save 10%. Visit collagenwood.com today. Save 10% with promo code SIMPLE10. That's collagenwood.com.